Good to see you. Let's begin. I'm going to just start right off through the base of the skull and the neck. No stretch needs to occur in a vigorous or high intensity way. So reaching the left arm out just enough to feel the tissue, the connectivity, the musculature, just enough head tip to feel that there's a slight pressure or stretch change. And we'll just connect to our breath. And feel for releasing that left side. Underneath the skull. Now, I'm just very slowly rolling, shifting my chin downward just so I'm not hanging out in the same area of stretch, just so that the neck is so I can just kind of start to feel all through the back of the skull near the occiput there. And once I get to about center, chin over sternum center, I'm going to pause, relax the left arm. And just slowly move the head up, just letting those muscles engage with whatever new sensation is there, whatever new freedoms are there. All right, now let's stretch that right arm out. Again, just enough to feel a difference. Not even trying to perceive the stretch of muscle, just a different sense. And I'm tipping the head left just enough. And again, this is just my preference today. I'm just moving the chin ultra slowly towards center so the stretch doesn't just stay in one area. And slowly lifting head back upright. And take one breath to feel, to sense in the topmost lobes of the lungs. So this is collarbone, top of ribs. And one breath to feel more of the breast altitude of the lung. So it'll be like the middle most portion of the shoulder blade. And usually I say ribs to feel the ribs move. But if I say lung, it just brings us in a little bit more from the ribs. So it just starts to seed our feeling awareness a little different location in the body, different substrate. And we'll take one breath to feel the lowest part of the lungs, which can also be felt through the backside. Cool. Let's go to a half lotus, left over right. If you need a strap, bring it with you. We'll be setting up a seated spinal twist. So if you're sensing to the area beneath the ribs, if you're sensing from the lung, and just feel how this twist occurs for you. So we'll be twisting to the left. Breathe to feel the lungs beneath the ribs. And then exhaling is turning to the left. And release. Okay. We'll switch sides. All right, so we're in half lotus, so we got the right over the left, and we're twisting to the right. I'm just taking a moment to situate in and from the lungs, and to feel how the lungs glide, move, slide, rotate. And one of the things that we're finding We meaning just hearing the feedback of practitioners, is that by going to the organ, there seems to be a great deal of ease to the movement. But as always, perform the experiment. And that ease will always express itself through the breath. Every emotion, every response has rippled through the lungs, the diaphragm. They've had to participate in the expression of every vocalization and every emotion, right? So, lungs. So let's unwind from there. Let's set up for, we're gonna do it two ways, downward dog and dolphin, not at the same time. I'm gonna start off with my downward dog on blocks, just because I don't have a plan to feel anything. It's just like throwing them in now and again. And if you are using blocks, arrange or angle them so that the wingspan from pinky to thumb all across the palm is on the surface. And I'm saying that because if you turn them the narrow way, 99.9% of people will grasp the block with the thumb and the pinky and kind of claw at it. So I was trying to find that angle where there's nothing for the thumb and the pinky to claw grasp, keeping the palm quite broad. And if you don't like blocks for that, great. Downward dog on the palms on earth. All right, downward dog it is. So just having moved the lungs a little bit, this upper back. And start to release the weight of the head, which requires no extra movement. It's not something that we need to shake out or wiggle out or lift drop. Just feeling the weight of the head is a kind of a non-motoric act, non-motor. Nothing we have to enact. Or just feeling the weight of the head. Feeling how feeling the weight of the head is itself part of the release. The feeling contributes release. So we're really changing the job title of the doer. And release. We'll set the knees down. Maybe that's my greatest warning for us all doing yoga, is that releasing changes the job description of the doer. So be prepared, identity shift on the way. Let's set up for dolphin now. So we've got the elbows under the shoulders. You can clasp or hands or palm down hands. I'm just letting the full range of that lung and lung motion just register. It registers as movement, it registers in whatever parts of my brain can receive that signal. When you're ready, exhale the knees again off the ground. Just again, feeling the weight of the head itself will contribute to release. Maybe you can start to feel, and then we'll just say the last 4 or 5 breaths here in dolphin. Is there motion or release within the lung itself? Do the lungs collapse in on themselves? Do the lungs press in on themselves? I find these are common and interesting, almost like residue behaviors that come with emotional patterning. So you might feel a subtle squeezing in of the lungs, or maybe one side feels really ready to move and the other one kind of quivers with not ready to move yet. So you can just feel that with the breath. I like to use the legs and just feel the pelvis lifting away from the bottom of the lungs, finding out how the lungs move toward the bottom of the body. And we'll release from dolphin. All right, so we're going to stand and work some rounds of Uddiyana. Uddiyana is one of these, it can be done really fast and it can be done very suddenly, but it doesn't have to be. So I'm going to do mine as sweetly as I can. So we'll set up a wide stance. Not a particular stance, it's just enough where I can kind of crouch a little bit, pull my thighs, and just to let my organs, gravity, just feel that mass down. Now, just in the action of pressing my palms into my thighs, my shoulders do lift up, which already is starting to kind of flare and stretch some of that mid and upper lung area. So you'll decide if that's good or if you want to ease off the pressure. And we know how to do these rounds of Uddiyana. It's when you're ready, it's a swift thorough exhalation, which can still be done softly. It can be swift and soft. And having emptied that physical breath out, keep the chin low and draw the belly in. Belly, so perineum, genitals, anus, low belly, belly, and just starting to work and pull and move. So you're feeling under the diaphragm, you're feeling into the diaphragm, you're feeling into the lung. Breathing when you need to. Relaxing the belly will just facilitate that. That's when we get empty of breath, the lung, it's small, 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 small. And of course, as we're inhaling, filling, the lung fills with breath, it gets big, 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 big. And so these little displacements with the air, the physical air breath, is moving the organs. So I just want to appreciate that as a feeling, not just as a concept. All right, we'll do one more round. Yeah, we can do swift out breath. You might just hold empty for a moment to feel, where's the diaphragm? Where did my organs go? They moved, but where did they move? Just let the belly go. And we'll straighten legs to exit there. Heel toe feet together. I want to do a standing alternate twist. I'm going to use the wall for my right hip to rest against. I've been doing this one a bunch last week or two. So my right hand will grab my right foot. Now, do you need a wall? No, you don't need a wall. Okay, but I'm going to use one just to feel my hip kind of maintain one address in space, just so my hips aren't sliding forward or backward. Get that? All right. And then reaching the left arm away from the right. And when we release, we'll prepare to switch sides. Ooh. So all that hip, all that really deep hip muscle support, the diaphragm, all have this connection into about almost like the middle of the spine. So if you're practicing following your kura, it's kind of fun to go to the interior of the spine and just feel for the diaphragm. These little legs of the diaphragm, the ligament legs, just kind of down the interior of the back. These ligaments are really, really fascinating. All right, we're on the left side, my left hip next to the wall. Left hand, left foot. And I'm keeping my right foot pointing straight ahead. So now as I'm turning, I'm involving the deep leg and hip structure. I find that to make the twist easier, I have to kind of put a little more, there's a little bit more zest that I'm feeling through the leg, the inner leg especially, the inner right leg. The inner right leg's letting my hand move, my ribs turn. And release. Let's stand at the top of our mat. Oh, I should say this. If you don't have a roll, just have one ready, and it can be a very mild roll. I'm going to use a blanket. I'll just have that on the ready. Inhaling, we'll take the arms up and stretch, feel the legs moving down. Exhaling, fold, releasing the weight of the head, relaxing, softening the eyes, the brow. Let's inhale the right foot back first, lunge. We'll place hands down, exhale, left foot back, lower. Plank to ground or plank, knees to ground. Cobra. So we can still start to work the bend, the curvature, but we can do that without hardening the chest. And that may be a most common thing I see in upward dog and even cobra, is kind of this hardening of the chest wall. So let's practice, we'll go exhale, downward dog. And as we go through these little arcs and these little baby back bends today, you can practice breathing from the lung, and that may feel softer. Lunge, inhale the right foot forward, we're setting the left knee down. Hands to ground, exhale, left foot forward, fold. And again, I'm suggesting that we take our stance, so to speak, and take our sensory view. Inhale, we'll stand from the lungs all around the heart. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot back, lunge. Hands to ground, exhale, step right foot back, and we'll lower belly to earth. And now if it takes you a breath or two to just tune into the lungs, which is different than the muscles around the ribs, it's different than the ribs. But feeling the lungs all around the heart as we inhale, moving up into cobra. And exhale, lower, reset hands under chest, press back, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, lunge. Bring hands to ground, exhale, step right foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand. And exhaling, hands to heart. A few extras this time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back, lunge, we'll set knee down. We'll remain for 2 additional breaths in this lunge. Easy twisting lunge. So I'm backing my weight over my right knee. And then to go for this chest opening, right hand down, raising the left, broadening apart the hands and the arms. And all this can be done, almost sounded like a sales pitch, and all this can be yours. But all this broadening out of the arms can be done without thrusting or hardening the chest forward. So one thing I'm really appreciating a lot with this kind of lung-heart attunement is how much softer it is around the heart, how much more fluid and how much more communication seems to just flow through the heart and the lungs. Often when we kind of thrust the chest forward, we also kind of smush the area at the back of the heart. So by feeling the lung releasing, opening, moving, breathing, open both the back side and the front side of the rib cage, the heart. Good. Inhale, we'll bring that left hand down. Exhaling, press that or set that left foot back. And set the knees down, find the roll, slide it into play. Lower down. Ensure your roll is sufficiently small or soft, because this is going to displace a lot of our organs, breathing. Just want to start softer. If a little is adequate, maybe there's no need to do more. Kind of a fan of Pareto's law. So we're going to do an arm movement on the left side while we're on this roll, belly down. So first is I'm reaching the fingertips toward the foot. I don't have to move the foot. I'm just steadying myself on my right forearm. I'm feeling that shoulder needn't collapse, so I'm not going to slide over my arm bone, but just going to nice and steady like a sphinx. And I first move inhaling. I'm reaching the left hand, the fingertips, just straight back. Almost like I'm trying to touch my toes. Straight arms, straight down, straight back. So down toward the feet. And so as I'm reaching, the left shoulder kind of moves away from the neck. And now bending the elbow, I'm going to take this left hand, I'm just moving the left hand, and setting it about shoulder altitude. We're just going to do shoulder shrugs on one side. So you may tip a little bit. Inhaling, I'm still propped up on my right forearm. And then exhaling and squeeze and engage the top of the left shoulder blade, and then the middle left part of the shoulder blade, and then the bottom left part of the shoulder blade. I'm going to do that one more time. Inhale. Again, I'm rocking a little bit, but I'm still supporting myself with my right shoulder. Exhaling, squeeze, top of shoulder, left side only. Middle part, a little squeeze. You might feel yourself starting to turn to the left. Bottom tip. Right arm pushes. Release. Set the left forearm down for a moment. That may actually be pretty warming for the right shoulder to steady yourself. Which reminds me, there may be someone kind of bringing their right shoulder up to less pain. So just the stabilizing would be a really sweet move for the beginning stages of shoulder repair. All right, one more move. It's inhaling the left hand forward. Forward, so way out over the mat. Still steadying myself on the right forearm, the right shoulder, no drops, sloops, or slide outs. And release. Release everything. Inhale, hands under chest. And exhale, downward dog. All right, we've got a lunge. Inhale, right foot forward. We're setting the left knee down. We'll remain here for an additional couple breaths. There we go. And easy twisting lunge, so back the weight up. Set the left palm down. And going to the lung, back of heart, front of heart. So you can feel there's a rotation and an opening that's quite possible. And this can be done without like squeezing the backside. And it can be done without hardening the front side. And when there's ease in the back, ease in the front, you'll hear that in your breathing. So the breathing may sound both expansive and easy. All right. Inhale, bring the right hand down. Set the right foot back. We'll put that roll back into play, lowering down on it, and we'll do that one arm series. Just so it will be a reaching down, a reaching to. So it'll be 3 arm positions. When we lower, abdomen, intestines, guts on roll. We'll stay pressed up now on our left forearm. So I can't see the shoulder, but it's really common to kind of slink down as we start, as our weight kind of moves, distributes around a little bit. I'm going to stay pressing, supported, left forearm pressing down, and I stay really tall and spacious in this left shoulder. I can't emphasize that enough. This is as much to do with the left shoulder as the right. Maybe more so. So we start by right hand reaching back toward the right heel. And as I'm reaching back, just letting that right shoulder slide down. I want to feel the breath unobstructed by pressurization in the chest, because we're calling these the easy moves. All right, arm in the second position, which is like shoulder shrug position. So it's like a little V. My right arm makes a V, inhale. And then exhale, squeeze the top of the shoulder blade in and release the bottom part of the shoulder blades, the bottom tip of the shoulder blade. So maybe a little more lateral movement so that left shoulder stays really steady. Once more, inhale. And then exhale, top, squeeze, release. Middle part right blade, squeeze, release. Bottom tip shoulder blades, squeeze, release. And then right arm overhead. Overhead is forward, over the front edge of your mat. Keep pressing left arm. This is often where we'll start to slink down and just go, oh, my left shoulder is so tired. Breathing well. And release. Inhale. Or bring the hands under. Exhale, downward dog. And we'll gently set the knees down. There's one more place I'd love for us to go. Let me describe it and just you can simulate how it might go for you. And if you don't like the simulation, you can choose another pose. So I was going to do bow without a strap, with or without a roll. Let me just show it to you so we can have visual remembering. Boop. So bow without a strap would be belly down. Whether you want to use roll or not is fine. And I would draw up each ankle with each hand. Okay. We'll hang out here. So that was my idea. Now, if for some reason that won't, you're kind of thinking about that, like, I don't know. Maybe try without the roll, or select bridge. We can do bridge, not quite the same chest opening, but hey, it's different. So here we go. I'm going to just continue doing and talking through the bow, and we'll do a couple rounds of 4 or 5 breaths. So just nice little sweet shorties. I guess this first round I'm going to do with a little roll. And so when we're doing bow, I generally start by grabbing the outer ankle, thumb down. This seems to be the most forgiving on most shoulders. Okay. There is another way, which is inside of ankle, thumb up. But maybe I'll save that for next round. I'm going to start outer ankle, thumb down, both at the same time. And something I'm just practicing, feeling and feeling for, is that the emphasis of chest opening doesn't have to harden anything front or back of heart. So I'm actually trying to do this in as soft a heart way as possible, which we'll hear with our breath. If it's with ease, we'll hear that in the breath. And I guess as a note, ease can contain elements of discomfort. Ease doesn't necessarily mean we're stripping away all of the elements of discomfort, like we're trying to make it as sensorially easy as possible. There's physical ease, there's an ease to breathe. Yes, there may be some discomfort. There should never be pain. But we should also know where the discomfort lives in our body. I think that's a really good So I'm deciding I don't want the roll for the second round. So cast that off to the side. It's okay for the knees to move apart a bit. And release. For the winding down, I'm just going to do some, we call lounge lizard. So I'm going to set up the legs to hand in a straight line. And just let the side bend just be a release for the back side. So I'm releasing the back by going and biasing the side. So as I'm in this position on my left side, the left side of the spine is expanded. The right side of the spine is less expanded, a little more condensed. Good, we'll release, we'll change sides. Just tuning deep inside the right side, right of spine, right side lung and ribs. And so we're letting this sensory information just reach us, to reach our brain, to reach us. If we're kind of distracted or just wondering or waiting for something to happen, it's like our sensing capacity gets a little diminished. It's like it interferes with the uptake, the reception of sense information. So allow yourself to almost become entranced with the listening and the inner motions. Just deeply curious, almost entranced, enchanted. It's kind of this enchantment with our inner world. Now when we release and we lie down, bend knees. This can be done with or without a strap. So as you're lying, maybe just see first or hear first. I'm just going to place the legs vertical so I can hold them just like so, kind of balance them within the sockets. Or I could use a strap, almost like I'm reins on a horse. And I can just hold, just like steadily balance, hold my feet over my sockets. So you decide. You can do this without any manual applications, or you can add the weight of the arms, the control of the hands. I notice the pressure on my feet changes the pressure in my head a lot, so something to play with. I was watching these clouds roll through as we were practicing, and I kind of wondered if we're having some precipitation coming up. Anyway, I say that not to talk about the weather, but just so you can start putting together these pressure systems within your own body. And there might be some interplay with our outside pressure systems. All right, we'll release for Shavasana. As I'm saying pressure systems, I'm also kind of recalling some insight I get to have with people as we work together. And we were together noticing in our bodies how when we were doing this kind of lung heart oriented work, the pressure system within it feels more evenly distributed. There feels like there's less partitioning of pressure in the chest and the back. So maybe we simply check in and find out what the ease factor is around the chest, under the breast, around the heart is. When you're ready, we'll bend knees and turn to a side. And press to seated. Namaste.